Hi, welcome back to the Distressed Princess. Today is a special collaboration day with my friends Theresa B. DIY and Indie Annie Jones. And we have gotten together to bring you some great gift ideas for Mother's Day that you can make. And it's also using Totally Dazzled items, and I'll tell you more about that in just a little bit. This first project, I am so proud of how it turns out, and you're going to love what this old drawer turns into. I found this drawer at a thrift store and I paid $5 for it. Someone had put this piece of wood in the middle to make it a shelf, but my mom doesn't need any more shelves. But just to tell you a little bit about my mom, first of all, she loves shabby chic, and she has got the cutest shabby chic bedroom I have ever seen. She also has a little puppy dog named Maggie, and I'm going to turn this drawer into a shabby chic, totally dazzled pet bed for Maggie. The first thing I did was use some antibacterial multi-purpose spray to clean the drawer out really good. Then I had to remove the piece of wood that someone had put, and there were these little end cap pieces, and they were sort of decorative, so I was careful in removing those from the screw heads. I'm going to replace them later. And then I removed the screws so that I could take the piece of wood out of the middle. Now, of course, you can find old drawers in thrift stores and garage sales and all kinds of different places that won't have this piece of wood in the middle, and you would not need to do this, of course. And then I wiped it down again after I removed the wood shelf. I really liked the drawer pull that was already on it, so I removed it so I can paint the drawer, but I will replace it again later. I'm going to paint the drawer in layers, first with the cameo pink, and then on top of that, a pale blue, and then on top of both of those, the Waverly chalk paint in plaster. And I'm going to use the candle wax and packing tape method to strip away some of the top paint to reveal the blue and pink underneath, making it look chippy and worn and like it had been painted these different colors over the years, and it's very shabby chic. Make sure that your layers of paint are totally dry before you move on to the candle wax. And notice I didn't paint the inside of the drawer because it's going to be the plaster color. So just take that candle and rub it all over where you painted pink. Then paint your next layer of color, which mine is blue. You could absolutely choose whatever colors you like. I chose pink and blue because they're very shabby chic colors, but use whatever colors would match your decor. Making sure that the blue was completely dry, then I took that candle and waxed all over the blue. And then for the final color, the plaster, and I painted it all over the drawer, inside and out. When you're using chalk paint, if you will use a heavy hand with it and your heat gun or hair dryer, you'll get this natural cracking effect, which I thought was perfect for this project. Next, I'm going to use these large wooden beads for feet for the pet bed, and I wanted to paint them in the same plaster color. And the way I decided to do this was taking my almost empty plaster Waverly jar, and I added a little bit of water to it to make like a wash, and I put all my beads inside and shook it up. And then I got them all out using the end of a paintbrush. And you'll notice when I got them out that the paint pools around the bottom. So this is not on camera, but I did use the end of that paintbrush to kind of move them around so they're not just sitting in a pool of paint. After these dried, I attached them to the bottom of the drawer using hot glue and Fix-All adhesive, but once I moved on to this taping part, they came off. So I'm going to show you later how I put them on and they stayed. So using the clear packing tape, just put it all over the drawer, and I recommend just putting it only in the places where you really would like to see some chippy paint, because boy, did this method really work out well for me this time. And it actually wound up taking off more of the plaster paint than I would have liked, because I was just excited. I love to do this method. And so I had put that packing tape all over this drawer, and yeah, it was a little too much. So only put it where you would really like the blue and pink paint to be revealed. Once your packing tape is down wherever you like it to be, then use a scraping tool or a credit card or something to burnish it down really well. And drum roll, please. Here we go. Look at that. I couldn't believe how well this worked for me this time. And here's a look at how it turned out on all sides of the drawer. And as I was looking this over, I decided, yeah, it was just a little too much for me. I know, I'm picky, right? So I decided to go back and cover some of it up with some more of that plaster paint, which at this point I was out of, and I had used it as a wash for the feet, remember? So there was water in the jar. So it was more of a little washing of plaster paint over some of the blue and pink. Not all, but just some. Now for the second try of the feet. Now, I would have screwed them on like this in the beginning, but I thought, well, that wouldn't work because the screw would just go right through those large holes in the wooden beads. But the second go round, the wooden beads were full of hot glue and it was pretty stuck down in there. So I thought, okay, well, now there's something for the screw to hold on to inside of these wooden beads. So my husband decided that he would lend me a hand. Not that I couldn't screw these on myself, but I was getting tired by this point, and so he helped me, and he screwed the feet into place on all four corners of the bed. Then I replaced the really cute drawer pull that came with the drawer. And don't forget the little decorative end caps that was covering the screws that held the shelf into place, and so I hot glued those back. Now for the actual bedding, which is really super simple. It's just a spare bed pillow that I had and this shabby chic pillowcase. Oh, I have always loved this pillowcase. Well, actually, it was part of a whole sheet set that I had, but the sheets were very worn out, had gotten holes and everything. But I saved the pillowcases, and I'm so glad that I did because it makes just the perfect bed for Maggie. Now for the final touch, and this is what takes this cute shabby chic little pet bed up 10 notches, maybe even more, is this Totally Dazzled brooch. Actually, I'm going to use 4 of them, and they do have the pins on the back of them, so I used my wire cutters to cut them off, and then I was able to hot glue them to the sides of the bed. Now this pet bed is fit for royalty. Now for the giveaway. If you comment on all of our videos, mine, Theresa's, and Annie's, you will be entered in a Totally Dazzled giveaway. And the prizes are a $25 gift card to totallydazzled.com and a Bling Roll. And you can use these items in so many different DIYs. You will love these products. Now let's talk about my friends. Theresa B is so good at shabby chic decor naturally, and that's just something she gravitates toward, I think, because she's so good at it. And here's one of my very favorite videos that she did, and it's Mother's Day gifts ideas, so you'll want to check that out for sure. And my other good friend, Annie, she is really good at shabby chic decor too. And I just love everything that she puts together. And she's so entertaining. You all will love her. Here is one of her videos that I absolutely adore. Both of their links for their videos today and their channels will be in my description box below. So go on over and show them some love. The second DIY today is using this ladder that I also thrifted for only $3. And since it's painted black and it's distressed, I'm guessing it used to be in a country primitive house, but I'm going to turn it into a shabby chic plate holder. The first part of the transformation is to paint this entire ladder with white Rust-Oleum chalk paint. After the first coat of the chalk paint, instead of doing a thick second coat, I watered down some of the chalk paint, which I was at the bottom of my can anyway. So I watered down some of that paint to do a whitewash for the second coat. And that really makes a shabby chic piece look even more shabby. This is the idea that I had for this ladder, to turn it into a plate rack. And I'm using one of the wooden dowels from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to cut it in half using the dog toenail clippers. They're perfect for cutting these wooden dowels. Then I'm going to hot glue them to the fronts of the rungs so that the plates will stay and not slip off of the ladder. Then I used my whitewash paint to paint over those dowels. Then I used two sawtooth hangers that I had that originally came off of some Dollar Tree things that I had DIY'd, and I hammered them onto the back of the ladder. Now it's ready to hang and display your vintage shabby chic dishes. And the last DIY is using this wooden box that I got on a $1 table at a junk store. And it was already painted white and distressed perfectly. So I didn't have to paint it, and that is a plus in my book. I'm going to transform this box into a Mother's Day flower arrangement. And of course, because it's for my mom, I'm going to shabby chic this box up, and I'm using this ribbon that I got on clearance at Michael's. I decided to use the ribbon at the top of the box to mimic a liner, and so I hot glued it all around and folded it over the top edge and hot glued it on the inside too. The flowers I'm using all came from the Dollar Tree except for the blue hydrangeas. I'm not positive where these came from, but I know that the Dollar Tree does carry all kinds of hydrangeas, and I'm pretty sure they have blue ones too. The floral foam is some that I just had on hand and I've used obviously in lots of different arrangements because there's already holes all over. But Dollar Tree carries floral foam. It's the soft kind and that's what I like to use. And the colors I chose were of course blue and pink and this peachy color to complete the shabby chic arrangement. And for once I actually had enough flowers to make this arrangement very, very fluffy and full. So I just kept putting more in and putting more in until I used up almost all of these flowers. And here's a look again at the first two DIYs with the Totally Dazzled embellished pet bed and the shabby chic plate rack. Don't forget to watch all 3 of our videos and comment on all of them to be entered in the Totally Dazzled giveaway. I hope you all have a wonderful Mother's Day and I'll see you next time. Bye!